some hunch just said, look, Windows is not going to be the problem. Yes, we needed to replace Windows for aesthetic reasons.
Sure. And what's happening today is I did the energy audit back in early April 2025. And today it is June the 9th, 2025. In between the energy audit and today, the homeowner had something like 25 windows replaced. And he is eager, just like I am, to see, okay, how much is that going to reduce the air leakage by today? I'll be returning next week to complete the air sealing and the insulation work, and then I'll test again, so we'll see.
So a few years back, I had a similar situation and I made a video about it, and it's gotten some really good feedback. In that case, I did an energy audit for a young couple for their first house. They had a baby and a year later decided to get their windows replaced and also get the attic and basement sealed and insulated. It was a great demonstration of just how much air sealing a house can reduce energy loss compared to windows when it comes to air leakage. And reducing air leakage by as much as you possibly can is the key to a comfortable home. There are some differences to note. That house was a little older. It was built in the 60s and the house today is built in the 90s. Overall, the house today has a lot more glass, meaning it has a lot more windows, so it will be cool to see how it plays out.
All right, so I did my research and I'm getting ready to run the blower door test here on this house. I'm going to set it up. And this is the house that had an audit done by me. And I did the blower door test and the total CFM, 3,974. We're targeting 25% reduction in air leakage. And because I'm only air sealing and insulating the attic and a little bit under the foyer here, I'm hoping that these windows are going to give us at least 5%. So that gives you kind of perspective of what we're looking for. So
if you haven't seen this before, it's called a blower door test. It's an industrial sized fan that gets rigged up at the door. It basically sucks the air out of your house. There's a digital meter, sometimes called a pressure and flow gauge, that records how much air is flowing through the fan. For houses that are tight, not as much air flows through. Leaky houses, on the other hand, have much higher numbers. So the point is, air leakage in a home is measurable. Wow, check that out. Test in, 3974, test out, 3479. That's a 12% reduction when you do the math. So after getting the result and discussing it with the homeowner, I returned a week later with the installation crew and we got to work. So let's go through some of the things that we did around the house to help improve the overall air leakage and increase the insulation R values. This house had all the telltale signs of energy loss and comfort problems.
this is Tunde.
Yes.
And then he's working through the BGE Home Performance with Energy Star program. Just maybe one more time, what made you decide to get the audit done?
We've been in this house for well over 2 decades. We got tired of trying to troubleshoot why we have this whole difference in temperature. It gets so hot and you really want to make sure it's comfortable in the living area, but you're pretty much toasting and frying yourself upstairs. So
hot rooms and inconsistent airflow, the homeowner wanted a whole house solution that addressed comfort and efficiency from the ground up, not just a quick fix.
Started thinking about, we had just done the HVAC, replaced that in February. So got the newest, latest thermostat, Ecobee, sensors in all the areas, could really see it on an app that there is a huge difference. So I've always heard about the audit, and I started researching on YouTube, came across your channel, and really enjoyed walking through that almost, I think, 45 minutes of footage of someone who was planning to get windows and wanted to do the audit before the windows and afterwards. I said, yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to make sure that I already committed to do the window replacements throughout the entire house, but pretty much brand new windows. But why don't I find out how much energy loss we have?
Sure.
The scope included a complete attic air sealing and insulation upgrade to increase the R value up to modern standards with blown-in cellulose. We also replaced a non-functioning bathroom exhaust fan with a high-performance Panasonic Whisper Series unit to ensure proper ventilation, critical for moisture control, especially in a tighter house. In the basement, we sealed the rim joist under the foyer with spray foam to block out cold air from the floor, and we improved the attic access hatch insulation to help control temperature balance throughout the home. As it turns out, there was one rather large hole that I didn't detect during the original assessment. It was located in this unique space in the upstairs hallway, above the door, and also connected to the attic. I spent a good amount of time looking for the best places to seal this space, and how it was connected to the house was super duper tricky. I literally had studied it 5 or 6 times over the course of 3 visits. I left that crawl space feeling like I had done an amazing job, only to be humbled a few hours later.
And that's right, so here we are.
It's the moment of truth.
So we're about to do the blower door test after we air sealed and insulated a little bit earlier today.
Yeah.
There was a big challenge above here, so we worked that out hopefully. And we're gonna check on that as well. So we're just gonna roll through this. Ready to go?
Yep. I want to see the numbers.
All right, let's do this, okay.
All right.
$3,300. So let's go check it out.
Even after sealing dozens of tricky edges and corners with spray foam, something still didn't feel right. The blower door numbers weren't where I expected them to be, and I couldn't let it go. So I started chasing the airflow, weaving through the house like a detective on a mission. When you deal with complex framing and a unique construction like this house, it's easy to miss hidden bypasses. But that's where the blower door shines. It doesn't lie. Every little bit of air leakage adds up, and I knew something major was still open. And then I found it. Spray foam is one of the easiest ways to make a measurable improvement in home comfort, especially in hard to reach, awkward spots where traditional insulation just doesn't cut it. Whether you're working around cantilevered overhangs, attic knee walls, irregular framing around ducts and pipes, every little bit of spray foam helps reduce unwanted airflow and heat loss. In this house, the architecture had a lot of odd angles and transitional framing. They're prime candidates for thermal bypasses. With the blower door running, I can go back and find the exact spots I might have missed. That allows me to tighten up the envelope even more and double check that no major pathways were overlooked.
I found it.
Sometimes in this work, you hit a wall, and for a moment, you think maybe you've done all you can, but then instinct kicks in. You keep chasing the leaks, crawling through tight spaces, checking the tricky spots builders never expected anyone to revisit. That's what happened here. The blower door number wasn't what I hoped. I'd put long hours in, and I knew Tunde and his family were counting on me to make the home feel better. So I went back to work. I carefully cleared away the insulation and started tracing the framing and sheathing. Inch by inch, I wanted to seal as much as I possibly could. There was a gap where the framing met the exterior wall right behind the insulation. With the blower door still running, I knew I had one shot to seal it right and watch the numbers drop. I loaded up the spray foam, sealed every edge, every seam. I couldn't wait to retest. This could be the answer we were chasing all along. And just like that, victory. We hit the target, 25% air leakage reduction. Not because things were easy, but because we didn't give up. Tunde and his family are the ones who are really going to win. They opened their home and trusted the process. My job was to honor that trust. So when the numbers came in, it wasn't just about data on a screen. It meant a more comfortable home, lower build, and a big step towards peace of mind. This is what home performance is all about. Not perfection, progress, backed by hard work and heart.